This is episode number 204 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're a DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We're so glad you could join us for another live episode of the Homeowners Show here in the studio. How you doing, Kev?
Man, I'm good. I don't have any, words of wisdom today, so...
Nothing life-changing to share with the peoples?
No, life is about to get back to normal because the school's starting.
Ooh.
Yep. Happening this week?
Well, not for me.
Well. You aren't in school.
Well, my kids don't go back for another 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, well, mine go back on Thursday.
You excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Mainly because I'm just ready to get kind of a
tired of your kids?
No, I love my kids. I'm ready for
maybe
a
just
sense
one of
of
them?
depends on the day. I'm ready for a sense of normalcy to where it's just like routine. Uh-huh. They need some routine. You know what I mean? Like doing different
ain't
things
gonna get it from you
every day. No, they're not. I do not live a life of routine most of the time in the summer. That is not the case. But yeah, I'm just ready for things to just kind of go to I think everybody, whether you want to admit it or not, you like routine. Routine is what people need. And the people that say, "Oh, I just like this spontaneous life," they're liars. Liars. They don't.
Think so?
Yes, they don't like it.
I like it.
No, you don't.
I do.
Because here's the thing.
I think you don't get to tell me what I like.
Oh, I do. I will. Because here's the thing. I think we like to kind of have an idea of what's coming. We don't like things to hit us and just be like, I have no idea what's happening tomorrow. Eventually, you get to a point where you're like, no, I need things to be normal, consistent. Even if you have it planned out, that's
those are
different.
two different things. Normal and consistent are two different things.
I disagree.
Well, then you're wrong.
Okay. I'm fine with being wrong.
No, it's good because you lived most of your life that way.
I was wrong. Well, look, I thought I was wrong once, but I was wrong.
And the tour continues.
Exactly. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, before we get in the meat of it, just two things. One, we got to help get a lot of backpacks.
Oh, yeah?
Out this last week to kids in foster care.
Nice.
Which was great. People in our network contributed. People from our church contributed. I think we ended up handing out well over 100 and some odd backpacks.
Jeez. So do they have just school supplies in them? Or
yeah,
they're
full
food,
of school supplies.
Food and clothing or anything?
I don't think there's any food. You can't really do food and clothing because you don't really know
sizes and all that.
So you try and get the stuff that they need for school.
Well, let me tell you, man, it's absolutely ridiculous how much it costs to go to school. Just to show up, public school, free. Right, it's not. We all know it's not free, right? We're paying for it, but it doesn't feel like I'm dishing out money to go to public school, except for the fact that I got to buy $200 worth of school supplies for each student.
Right.
It's a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
It is a lot. And the backpacks themselves have gotten ridiculous.
They are.
I don't know that they've gotten ridiculous. They've probably been ridiculous for a long time.
But here's what I tell you about them, though. Those backpacks,
I
don't care what you get. Those canvas JanSports?
Dude.
With the leather on the bottom?
Yep. I have one still.
That's what I was about to say. They still exist.
From high school, I have one.
Oh, I know. They still exist because they were made to last.
Yeah.
These, now, it's day 2. That thing opens without the zipper. The zipper's closed. It opens anyway.
You say that. We had one that we handed a little girl, and as soon as we handed it to her, it ripped.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
And so we had to get her another one.
Yeah, because her heart was also ripped.
Yes, right there.
Right there. That's the way it goes.
Yep. And there's no way we were sending her with a ripped backpack.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Inconceivable.
So, dude, the other thing is I did my first reverse sear last night.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Look, you as a cook, did your first reverse sear?
Yep.
That surprises me on a lot of levels.
Yeah, I'd heard a couple people tell me that they were doing it. Mm-hmm. I honestly didn't even know what it was till yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got to know how'd it go, and what'd you think?
It was good. I did it with ribeyes.
Okay.
And they were like about 1.5 inches.
Okay.
So I mean, like and I did it in our air fryer.
Oh, so you cooked them in the air fryer, or you seared them in the air fryer?
I did the reverse. So like I did the roasting. Part of it in the air fryer, which
you can't really like sear in an air fryer, can you?
Well, you can, yeah.
Like it's a broiler, I guess.
Yeah, you could do the broiler if you really wanted to. I didn't do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I had I liked the metal mesh tray that we have in the air fryer, and it's a convection oven.
Sure.
So yeah, I did it in there, and it's honestly a lot quicker because it comes to temp a lot faster.
Yeah, it's just such a smaller space for it.
Yeah.
Everything it cooks. That's the beauty of the air fryer.
Yeah.
It's an oven.
It is.
It really, I mean, people are like, oh, look at my air fryer. I'm like, I got a broiler. It's the same thing. But yours is smaller.
Yeah.
And I love them.
They're cool. Well, all the different, you have a lot more options with an air fryer than you do with a regular oven.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you can dehydrate in that thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like you can do some cool stuff in there. But anyway, so it was my first reverse sear. It was a ribeye. It was pretty simple. But what just like took it over the edge, over the top as far as like being like a good steak is I made a gorgonzola thyme butter.
I knew there was going to be butter involved.
Oh yeah. So, and like I didn't like just get butter and like mix it with those things.
Okay.
Like, I made the butter.
Oh, you churned it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, and I churned it with those ingredients.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've never churned butter. How long does that take?
If you have a food processor, next to nothing.
I do have a food processor.
Yeah, so like
I love my food processor.
Food processor is a giant fast churn.
Okay, that's interesting. My wife is all like, "Why do you have this appliance?" I'm like, "Because it's amazing.
Yeah,
whenever you can do a lot of things.
You can make some of the best pie dough you've ever made in your life using a food processor.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and need that recipe there, Craig.
I can tell you it right now.
Okay, tell me.
It is a block of cream cheese, stick of butter, and a cup of flour, and an egg.
That's it?
That's it. Best pie dough ever.
Okay, we'll find out. Because that's easy. And I have a food processor that my wife thinks we don't use enough, so pie.
But you probably want to put a little salt in there unless you're using salted butter. But there's quite a bit of salt in cream cheese, so it really kind of depends on your flavor.
Your taste.
Yeah, if you like things extra salty. But you don't just have to use it for like sweet pies. I used to use it to make like chicken pot pies.
Really?
All the time. Yeah. And then it makes really good chicken pot pie dough.
Well, I'll tell you, like, I never liked chicken pot pie because I had like the Marie Callender's or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Those things suck. But it was whenever we just had our first child.
Uh-huh.
And, people bring you food.
Right.
Well, someone brought us a chicken pot pie, and I was like, son of a gun, this is going to be terrible. Like, because you never know. It's like some people are like, here's Texas Roadhouse.
Right.
And then other people are like, chicken pot pie. And I'm like, this is going to suck. It would have beat Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
It was that good.
A good chicken pot pie will.
It was that good. And I was like, I don't know what she did to this, but I got a recipe. And I think the dough makes
a big difference.
All the difference in the world.
Now, have you ever had shepherd's pie?
Yes, I have.
That's actually I prefer that over.
Well, I think I do too.
Pie.
But I think I do too. But I don't know that I've had the best shepherd's pie.
Mm-hmm.
What I've been told is where I need to get shepherd's pie is at the Goose's Acre.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you what I've heard.
Sure. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, sorry, I'm not a huge Goose's Acre fan.
Yeah, no,
it's a great location.
Yeah.
Like,
the venue's nice.
They got a good beer selection.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
that's about where my love affair ends with them.
Interestingly enough, like I got the chicken fried steak when I was there. I loved it.
Really?
Yes, I did. And I've had Frank's chicken fried steak, which is the superior chicken fried steak that I've ever had.
Yeah.
So anyway,
did I tell you about the one I had over here at Kitchen Tales?
Yeah,
that's the.
You said it was good,
but it's not chicken fried steak.
Yeah. I don't remember. Tell me about it again.
Well, it's. I mean, they market it as a schnitzel.
Ah.
Man, I forget.
But it's like a chicken fried steak?
Yeah. Well, schnitzel is like a chicken fried steak.
Sure. But I wouldn't. I've never seen it marketed as a schnitzel. Yeah. My problem with most chicken fried steak that you get at restaurants is it's steak with batter that they just kind of throw around it. Right. And then you have to cut your steak and like grab the batter as you eat the steak because it all falls off. Like you did not know how to make this thing stick. Right. So I don't like those. Yeah, no, that's no good. But this one was different because it was wild game. And I can't remember. It's a kind of deer, but it's not deer. Oh. Is it the black it's a big gray African animal. Zebra? No. Hippopotamus. That's in the horse family. Rhinoceros. I'm going to pull up their menu here. Elephant. I'm naming gray elephants, rhinoceros. These are all gray animals. Hang on. I'm almost there. Are you? So I want my favorite chicken fried steak is definitely venison. Oh. That's what my mom made all the time. Yeah. Growing up. No, I love backstrap. Oh yeah. That's what we used. I mean, and they're like little cutlets. Okay, right? So this is how it is on the menu. It's a venison schnitzel. Oh, but it's Nilgai. Oh, yeah. So I mean, like it technically is venison, right? But it's from a Nilgai. Okay, which you can hunt here in Texas. Oh, interesting. So I would eat that, and I would probably enjoy it. It's super good. Yeah, and it has like a beer gravy, which is interesting because like I've never been to Kitchen Tales. So it's really good. I've heard that, but it's weird because I don't know. It's like it's not a place that I think, oh, that's where I want to go eat dinner. Mm-hmm. But I've heard it's really good. It's close. It's been good for us because it's we can take our kids there and like they have a pretty accessible kids menu. Really, they got burgers and stuff on the menu, but like they wine, beer, cocktails. So I mean, full service. Interesting. It's been good. I mean, like even when we've gone, I've taken like a few clients there for lunch. Okay, and it's been good. Interesting. So anyway, interesting. But enough with our first world problems, dude. Let me tell you, there is nothing like making you feel that you are way too hoity-toity and like you got issues that are not issues, than going to a third world country and spending a week there, which is what I did about 2 weeks ago. Uh-huh. And it's not my first time. It's my third time to be in Honduras. I've been to Nicaragua twice. Okay. And so those are my main experiences with third world countries. And I don't know. Have you ever been to a third world country? I guess it depends on. So, like I've been to the Ukraine twice. Oh. I don't know that they're considered a third world country. I don't think so. There are parts of it that you go through though. Oh, it is. There's same here, like Southeast Arkansas. It's like they got one pair of underwear. Yeah, and they're not even wearing it. I mean, like the parts of the Ukraine that I remember vividly is people still having like thatch roofs. Yeah, yeah, like that. And it wasn't like, oh, that's rare. That's rare. Right. It was like, no, that's like the 10th house now in a row that's like it's got a thatch roof. Right. Like, and they were farmers. Yeah, and just living out in the middle of nowhere. What were their houses made out of? Do you remember? It was different stuff. I mean, some of them had like rocks. Some of them had like pieces of wood. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of them had windows. I mean, it was built out of like lumber. Yeah, okay. But they still had a thatch roof. Interesting. So that, and then I've been in southern Mexico, which
again, like Mexico's not a third world country,
No.
but
There are areas.
Yep. Where I was at, it's, I mean, like if you're familiar with Mexico, it's San Luis Potosi and Jalitla. It's up in the mountains. And so most of the people that we were engaged with did not speak Spanish.
Sure.
They spoke some, native dialect.
Right.
So
Interesting.
So we had to have translators for our translators.
Yeah. Yeah. That's getting out there. Well, so we where we were working, it was down.
But like all of Honduras is considered like
it is
third world.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And everywhere you go, you know why. I mean, like even so now they've just built a new airport.
Okay.
In Comayagua is the name of the place. But it used to be Tegucigalpa is where you would fly into, but that airport has basically shut down to American flights. And
is it because it's not safe?
Yeah, I mean, I say that. There's probably more reasons,
sure,
but it's just I don't know. They've built this new.
They got a new one.
Airport.
Yeah,
that's where you fly in and out of. From there, it's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive to where we go south.
Okay,
and we're almost on the Nicaraguan border. In fact, where we're at, you can see Nicaragua. It's up in the mountains. It's gorgeous. If you've never been to like some of these Central American areas, they're gorgeous. In fact, there's some really nice touristy areas in Honduras, like Roatan.
Right,
is a super touristy.
I know
area.
A lot of people go there for vacation.
Absolutely. I mean, it's beautiful, and just the people are amazing. They're just so happy you're there, and they're kind and great, and all that. And like. The American dollar has been devalued quite a bit recently, but it's still 24-1 for the Honduran money, and Limpira is they call it limps.
I mean, did it seem like your American dollar still went as far as you would expect it to go there, or is it like
way further,
or is it that their money is so devalued? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the thing is like the amount of money that we would spend on something to them is insurmountable. Yeah. I mean it's crazy.
Right.
So let's get into this for a minute. So we our whole mission while we were down there was to build 10 latrines.
Okay.
And we're calling them latrines because that's what they are, but it's basically like a glorified porta potty, but it's not portable. We're building it into their land, basically. So the way it works is we partner with a local mission there called Mission Lazarus, and they do all kinds of stuff. In fact, they just built $1 million facility for education.
Okay,
and it's absolutely amazing. I need to show you some pictures because I don't know how I would be a horrible student because you're literally in a glass building overlooking the mountains.
Oh wow!
I would never pay attention, but
they see it every day.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like the number one school in all of that area because it's just really good, really well run, and they also have a great medical facility. They own a coffee plantation, and so they employ I think they have 70 women that they employ, and pay them a man's wage.
Okay,
which down there is a big difference. I mean, it's less than half what a woman would get versus a man, which I know here maybe not necessarily all that different, but very, very repressed women are. And so they pay them men's wage, and they employ a lot of women. They pick the coffee cherries. They pick them by hand,
right?
Basically, and there's more efficient ways to do it, but there's not better ways to give people jobs.
Sure.
And do it more economically as far as that goes. But they have that, and it's amazing. They have an orphanage, and so they run an orphanage there as well. There's all kinds of stuff. We could get into all of it, but it doesn't really matter based on what we did. But what they do is they teach people how to build and how to do things. Like they've got a whole they've got a leather working shop. They build leather goods. They ship them to the U.S. and other countries and sell them. They also have a woodworking shop, so they're teaching boys and girls how to do woodworking.
Yeah.
And all of these are trades that they can make good money at. They've got a sewing school, all kinds of stuff. But so they prefabricate these latrines. Mm-hmm. But one of the things they do is they pour these slabs, and they're 42 inches by 42 inches, and they put rebar in it and everything. They're about 3 inches thick, and then they put angle iron on the corners, and then they put basically a hole in the middle and a hole on the side for a vent. And so then they build a house around it, a metal siding, 3 sides and a door.
Uh-huh.
And that fits down into the angle iron, basically, and then the roof. And so they prefabricate all of these, and then they take them apart. Mm-hmm. Much like you would do, a lot of metal buildings are built this way, where they fabricate them in a massive, 10-acre warehouse, and then they deconstruct them, move them on site, and rebuild them.
Right.
That's basically what we did. But it's all done by hand. So, that's just the way it is. So...
You mean the metal buildings are all put together by hand?
Yes.
Okay.
And the cement and making concrete, you're mixing cement and sand and water.
Doing it like a wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you do it on the ground.
Oh, you just
Do it on the ground.
dump it in there and mix it around.
Dump it on the ground. And that's actually an art. It's something we have to learn while we're down there, an art. You put all that on the ground, you make like basically a volcano, pour the water in it, and then you slowly just mix it all in so that none of the water runs out, and then you just start churning that thing with 2 shovels, basically. Yeah. And so, but the slab is already built, and then we take it in these little Toyota Hilux trucks. Mm-hmm. They're awesome. Awesome. They're just like a quarter ton truck.
Okay.
But they don't pass emissions here in the States, so they can get them here.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle where we go most of the places because it's in the mountains. And the best way to describe where we went was a mountainous dry riverbed.
Okay.
So imagine driving through the mountains in a dry riverbed. That's where we went. And, I don't know how far we went. We might have gone 8 miles, and it took us an hour, just because it's extremely treacherous roads. And nobody goes down there. The people that go down there are politicians to get their vote, and religious people to try to change their minds. That's it. And honestly, they don't want any of them there. If you were to come in and treat them like people,
yeah,
they would. What they do, they welcome you all day long.
Yeah.
But if you're just coming down there to use them, it's like anybody who wants that.
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of politicians come in with like empty promises. Like, for example,
I think you told me like they were trying, like there was like empty electric lines or something like that.
Yeah. Like we were driving down the road, and I was like, hey, I see electrical poles here. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, of course. Because a politician told them that they were going to bring electricity to them, even installed the poles.
Yeah, went so far.
But it's been like 7 or 8 years. There's nothing on them, just that kind of junk, Which look, I get politicians do what politicians do, but it's crummy,
Yeah.
These people are forgotten, and nobody cares about them, and so we have to load all this stuff up, take it all down there, and then like these slabs, they weigh like 400 pounds. Mm-hmm. And so you get like minimum 4 guys on these things, but like one of these things we had to carry up probably a quarter mile up a mountain. Mm-hmm. It took a while because it's not like
Like
open road.
you're having
it's like a little trail.
Carry it by hand?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's no way to get it there.
Like you can't put it in the back of a truck.
Nope.
Why?
There's no road.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna have to show you some video of this too. Like where we went to the place where there was no more road. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it's just a trail to get to these people's house.
I need like a pair of donkeys.
Well, some people have horses. But even then, you're not putting a 400-pound slab on a horse.
Put it on maybe like a cart behind it or something.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm telling you, dude, like there's just it was very difficult because like
I mean I've done some mountain construction before, and so like I get it. I mean, like sometimes you just got to get stuff to there, and the only way to do it is
move it.
Your back.
That's right.
Yeah,
and I mean, so we had 6 people on this thing until like there was no more. It was too narrow, and so people would have to peel off because you were going to get like hit by a tree or something. And so people would peel off, and like it was like this big rotation, and every once in a while we'd just have to put it down and rest for a little while because I mean it was tough. I'll show you one place we had to get to. There was no way to get it down except to literally put it like lift it up on its end and very slowly roll it down the mountain.
That sounds like a way to squash somebody.
It was very challenging. And so you get there, and these people have dug a 9-foot hole in the ground that's basically 3 foot around. And most of them are perfect. I mean, like, it looks like someone just could slide a tube down there. They're just unbelievably perfect. And so you get there, and you have to start mixing concrete together, and we literally concrete the slab in, and then you build over to the side. You're building up the house, putting it together with bolts and nuts and screws and everything. And then once we get the slab on there, then we put a toilet on there, and the toilet literally it's just a toilet. I mean, there's no lid because they don't have like the lids that they got down there are just like these plastic pieces of junk,
right? Like
thin plastic, and they wouldn't be worth putting on there because they would just break in the weather. So, but we concrete that in, even like literally concrete it into the, set it on the hole, concrete all around it, mound it up, put the house on, put the roof on, and for many people, it's the first time they've ever had any type of toilet ever. So we talked to this one guy. He was 76 years old. And, of course, we have to have translators. I don't know how to speak Spanish. I know, like, a few things. But I grew up in West Texas. Most of the Spanish that I know is going to get me in trouble. Okay? Like, not the good kind of Spanish, if you know what I mean. But like this guy's 76 years old, and he's just like, thank you. It's unbelievable blessing, all these kind of things.
Right.
He said, he said, when this cures, basically is what he said, and I can use it, it'll be the first time I've ever sat on a toilet.
That's crazy.
76 years old. And like, you hear those kind of stories, but here's the problem, man. Like, sanitation is a problem down there. I mean, because you know where they go to the bathroom?
In the woods.
There, and there, and there, and there, and there. And it's just like, I mean, it's in everything that they do.
Yeah.
And it's a huge issue, sanitation is. And so this gives it, I mean, I'm sitting here going, okay, not only did we give this man a toilet, we gave him some dignity to sit on a toilet.
To poop in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, and some of them have had like holes in the ground before, but that's all they are.
Right.
Just a hole in the ground. They don't actually have, I mean, they're not flushable, but they got water in a bucket and pour it down.
Did I tell you about my conversation with Adrian about that?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago?
I listened. I listened. And you're not wrong. I mean, it is possible to just go poop in the yard, but I mean.
I'm not saying I want to.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, like when the rain comes,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's fertilizer.
it's just washing it wherever it washes it,
Yeah.
And the same thing with pee on the ground, whatever. It's gross.
Yeah. Well, so to take it a different direction, did I tell you I test drove the Fabuloso experiment?
Oh no,
Yeah,
really?
I tried it.
Okay,
It works.
Really?
It really works.
Okay,
Like legit works.
interesting.
Like my kids
Expound.
Well, so if you haven't seen it, there was like I think it was like something on a TikTok or a reel or something. I don't know.
Right.
But you what you do is you take a bottle of Fabuloso and you stick it in your toilet's tank and see where the water line comes up to. And then you puncture the bottle there and then just leave the bottle in your toilet. And so every time you flush the toilet, it will bring the water back up to that level, send some water in, will it pull some Fabuloso out, and so your bathroom like almost never stinks. Now, eventually you got to replace the bottle because it'll use it up. But like it's going to take it a while.
Yeah.
It's not using it fast.
That's interesting.
And I was worried it was like
It's cleaning it too.
Bounce around, and like get hung up in there with all the different cords,
right? And it doesn't.
Doesn't
really.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And I was like, this is like whoever thought of this is just a genius.
Genius.
Yeah. So
the things you can do with Fabuloso.
I know. And I'm sorry. You're just like, if you tell me you don't like the smell of Fabuloso,
you're wrong.
You're just lying.
Right.
You're just lying because you want to use, I don't know, some
Lysol.
No, you
Pine Sol.
You want to use, what's the one that like everyone is like, I'm such a conscientious person because I don't use that other.
Oh, like the natural stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know the names.
I don't know.
Obviously, I use them.
Yeah. I don't know. We use like, I mean, a lot of times we're using like the Lysol brand or the toilet bowl cleaner stuff. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But there's those brands that are like the children of hippies.
The children of hippies.
That should be a brand.
Yeah, that actually should be a brand.
All right. So I looked this up while you were talking about it because I was curious.
Okay.
Because I mean, like it's an impoverished nation, and I was like, okay, so what does this country actually do? Do you know? Do you think you could name the top 3 exports of Honduras since you've been there?
I bet I could come close. I bet number 1 is shrimp.
Okay.
I bet number 2 is coffee.
Okay.
And I bet number 3, oh geez, what would number 3 be? It's probably not food. I'm guessing some sort of clothing item.
Okay.
Those are my
if you had to guess?
That's what I had to guess.
Okay, you actually weren't that far off.
Okay.
You got them out of order.
Okay.
And you were wrong on the third one.
Okay.
So coffee's number 1.
Okay.
At 47%.
Yeah. And dude, let me tell you, the coffee that comes from there, the climate matters, the soil matters, the way they do it matters. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Like I don't even, you know me. Mm-hmm. Do I drink coffee?
Never.
No. I drink it every day in Honduras. Every day. Multiple times. In fact, that's one of the things that's one.
Are you drinking it black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good, man.
Yeah. Well, like when you make coffee right, like I don't think it necessarily needs like sugar or milk or anything like that. Most people just don't make it right.
Right.
And I'm too lazy to do it every day.
Yeah.
But anyway, so coffee at 47%.
Yep.
Shrimp at 21%.
Okay.
And then bananas at 11%.
Like the only other thing I would have said that was food, I might have said corn. But I don't know that they're shipping a lot of. I think they eat a lot of their corn.
And it's like the other 3 agricultural exports that they have that were surprising to me. This one's not so much melons, lobsters.
Oh yeah, interesting.
And then pineapples.
Pineapples?
Yeah.
It's only
3% of their exports, but pineapples.
I've never even had a pineapple there. And bananas I've had, and they're freaking delicious. In fact, I've had these little, I don't know what they're called, but they're small bananas. They're
like a plantain almost.
Yeah, but they're thicker and they're shorter than a regular banana, but they're very, very good. And honestly, like, I don't love plantain.
Oh, really?
It's fine, but I don't love it. So I've had it in one way that I do like it is in a taco.
Okay.
With like beans and what is in there? Beans and
what about like plantain chips?
Yeah, I mean, they're fine.
Yeah,
but I don't love them. So I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I've enjoyed them. There's a South American preparation for them where they like almost like kind of like roast them and then pan fry them with sour cream.
Oh, I've not had it that way.
That one I've enjoyed. And then I think like plantain chips. Have you ever had them with chimichurri?
No.
That was a big game changer for me is when I ate them with chimichurri.
I could like that.
So
I could see that.
It's just a different.
Yeah. In fact, so most of the shrimp that we eat comes from Honduras.
Here in the States?
In the U.S. Most of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they have huge shrimp packing plants.
Yeah.
And coffee, I just knew that was huge.
I've actually been tickling my aquaponics itch.
Oh,
a little
really?
bit, and shrimp and crayfish are two of the ones that they're like, you can actually do really good.
Really?
With shrimp and crayfish in your aquaponics system.
Okay.
I don't know that I have time to itch that scratch.
Yeah.
But I was looking back through some of my research materials and some books that I'd read, and I was like, oh yeah, I really wanted to.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
It's the land. Living with the land.
Living with the land,
They got the aquaponics.
That's right.
I know, man. Like, everybody wants to do it. It's just doing it.
But to do it the way that you want to do it, though, is so expensive.
Yeah, so we saw the aquaponics deal at the Texas Ag Life Extension Center. AgriLife. Is that what it is?
Yeah, AgriLife.
That was a pretty cool setup that they have over there. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, speaking of water, that's the other thing is, like, a lot of these people, they don't have running water. They got to carry their water from one place to the other. And the thing is, like, in those mountains that we're at, there's tons of springs. But they got to go to the spring and get it. Honestly, it would not be all that crazy to build a pipeline.
Right.
To individual homes. The reason I asked what their homes are made of is, like, there's a lot of thatch roofs there as well. A lot of people, if they have any resources at all, which most of them don't, a lot of them barter. They just barter for a lot of stuff. And I think it's almost like they have a co-op with some other people. Like, they'll trade corn for this or beans for that, whatever. But they may have the Mexican tiles, and they'll use those for roofs. But, like,
are you talking about like those curved?
Yeah. Like the clay tiles. But what a lot of people do is they just use whatever they can find. They'll use trash bags.
Okay.
They'll use tiles. They'll use thatch. Like, literally, we found homes that have all of that on one roof.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But then a lot of the homes, they build them out of mud.
Okay.
Like, yeah, and they're strong.
Oh yeah, man. A mud house is like
mud and straw.
They're easy to keep cool.
They are.
I mean,
yep.
They'll protect you from the rain. I mean,
and every once in a while, you might find someone that has a solar panel just to run a light at night. But I gotta show you a picture of an oven that we found there. It's the largest oven I've ever seen, ever. Like, the lady that was baking for us, because we had just built them a latrine, and so they fed us like crazy, man.
Sure.
She was baking some bread, and she had 6 11 by 13 pans in that oven.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was huge.
What was like electrical? Was it?
No, it's just a clay
Oh, it's clay oven.
It's a clay oven. It's a dome, and it's fired by wood.
Oh, that's so.
It's amazing, dude. And then their like the way they're cooking pots and pans and stuff is very similar. They've got like this clay thing with 2 holes in it, and they put the fire in there, and they just set a pot on these holes, and the holes are slightly smaller than the pan or the pot. That's how they do that. They boil water for coffee.
Yeah,
they do all that kind of stuff. So
man, I've known for a long time that people cook. I mean, like, and you know, people around us use like earthware or whatever, and it's like it's clay pots.
Sure,
but like I've always wondered, like once you've cured those, like how does your food not taste like dirt when you cook in it?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, like, how does that even work? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I trust it. Like I've eaten plenty of things out of clay pots, but like it should taste. Oh, that thing's awesome.
Yeah,
y'all can't see, but Kevin's showing me.
There's no way you can see that, but like here it is from the side. Look how big, I mean, that thing's huge.
It's massive.
And
but see, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Like because you're not like the food's not touching the clay.
No, it's not.
You know, but like a clay pot, like why does the stew not taste like red dirt?
I don't know.
Or maybe it does, and we just like it.
Maybe. I
don't know.
Yeah. So
I mean, I imagine there's like some sort of like.
This is the road we drove on.
Kind of looks like my driveway.
It's true, but it gets worse. Like the further in we go, like it gets to the point where there is not much of a road left.
Yeah.
And this ends, and then it's just a trail.
I see one of the electrical poles.
Yeah. Nothing on it.
Yeah. Just a pole.
Yep. It's crazy.
I guess you can climb it up if a cougar gets after you.
Yeah. So there's literally the end of the road right there. And it's done. Nowhere else to go. So, yeah. Here's the thing. One of those latrines costs $500.
Oh, my God.
That is... There's not that much material there.
Is that the material cost?
That's the material cost. That's the labor to get them prefabricated because they do pay the people that build them.
Right.
And, gas, the trucks, the whole thing. They're roughly about like to do everything you have to do. I mean, there's concrete. We got bags of cement, all that kind of stuff. It's in the toilet. I mean, all of it. It's about $500 to give someone probably anywhere from 5 to 7 years of a place to go to the bathroom. And the more of them they have in the village, the longer they last, So it's one of those things where, like, if you were to tell, the reason they don't have one is because they don't have $500.
Yeah.
There's no way they can ever afford $500.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got to choose
between... It's a luxury that's out of reach.
Right. If you've got to choose between eating or even, like, working...
Right.
And doing something for your family or having a toilet, that's like a last resort for them. We see people that have phones.
How are they getting phones?
Well, believe it or not, I had decent signal in a lot of those areas.
Yeah, what I mean though is you're telling me like they can't spend $500 on a toilet. Like, how are they getting a phone?
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's the same question I have for people here. I mean, like, you tell me you can't pay your rent, you can't buy groceries, but like you have a $2,000 phone. Yeah. I see it right there, and you got all the accessories for it.
Huh?
Like,
makes no sense.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah. I don't understand.
Most of these are not nice phones.
Sure,
I mean they're cheap flip phones type stuff, but it's a phone, but it helps. But they're on it for like no time. And they're not using it to check anything.
They're not like updating their Twitter page.
No, they're absolutely not.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like 30,000 limps for them to buy something like that. Well, there's no way that they have the money for that. But for us to go over there, we built 10 of them, so it's $5,000.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I think about that and I go, man, $500 doesn't go that far here.
Right.
It just doesn't. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money.
I'll put it out there. Like, you couldn't get a toilet installed in your house for $500 right now.
No, you absolutely couldn't.
I mean, like, maybe you could, but you wouldn't like it.
No, I mean, the toilet itself is going to cost a couple hundred of that.
Right.
And then, by the time you get a plumber out there, you do
all the extra parts.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than $500.
Right. Absolutely. And I don't know. It's crazy because, like, even in the places where they do have running water and stuff, I mean, they don't have good water pressure. And so you're, like, having to hold the handle down until it goes all the way down. You get back to the States, you press that lever, water goes down.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? And like stuff like that, you get back and you go, man, it's crazy. The things that we complain about, like the issues that we wind up having. I mean, I was talking to a guy the other day and he was like, yeah, man, this is happening a lot right now. My contractor just left. He was building an outdoor kitchen. My contractor just left. He said, the granite work needs to be done. The masonry needs to be finished. And I think like the appliances need to be installed. That's it. The rest of it's done, but the contractor ghosted him. Can't figure out how to get a hold of him.
Jeez.
And this is happening. Like I'm finding that this is happening regularly.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, can't get your outdoor kitchen finished, huh? That sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It makes you think about the things that are important.
For sure. I think that's one of the most valuable parts about an experience like that is to be able to go over and see not just how other people live, but how in many situations like this, it's not to minimize their experience, but how much happier they are than most of the people that you encounter on a daily
100%.
basis who have way more to be grateful for.
That's right.
And when they have less, that their mental health is better. In many cases, like their diet is better. And they're just generally happier.
Yeah. I'm
really,
not saying really is amazing.
I'm not saying they're better off.
No, they're not.
I'm not saying they're happier.
Sure.
There's a difference.
No. You're exactly right. I mean, you know what? We saw tons of kids, right? You know what they were playing with?
Like a stick.
Yeah, and rocks. like one kid was like, basically said, "I bet you I can hit that tree limb." Like that's how he was playing. I mean, and he did, by the way, quite a bit. Quite often, he was hitting the tree limb. But the thing is, like, the kids are playing and the adults are working.
Yeah,
that's what it is. They're dirty. I mean, they don't have a good place to wash and those sorts of things. But I'll tell you a quick story. This happened on a trip come back from Nicaragua. One of the workers was driving me to the airport, and we were just talking, and he said, I asked him, I said, "Is this your truck or is this the missions truck?" And he said, "No, it's not mine, but I'm saving to try to get one, but they're they're expensive."
Yeah.
And he said, "Do you have a truck?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "What is it?" And I said, it's an '04 GMC Sierra. This is my last vehicle I had." And he goes, "Oh, the 5.3 liter?" And I was like, yes, it is the 5.3 liter. How do you know that? And he's like, I just enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, "Is that the only vehicle you have?" I was like, No. We have a minivan too. He's like, "Oh, really? What is it?" I was like, "What's a 2014 Honda Odyssey?" He was like, "Oh, those are great. He was like, "Do you have a house?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "How big is it?" I'm like, "Stop asking questions, man. Like, you're asking too many questions." And I was like, it's I'm like 1,900 square feet. It's got 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. And he was like, really? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you have kids? I was like, yeah, I got 2 kids. He was like, are you rich? That's how that happened.
Yeah.
Are you rich? And I looked at him and I said, yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not rich.
Yeah. I mean, by
any standard
that you and
where
I
I
live,
live,
with, yeah.
a 1,900 square foot house in the neighborhood it was in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm driving an 04 truck, you know, like there's nothing about this that screams luxury. There's nothing about this that makes you go, that guy, he's living the lap of luxury over here.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but like, there's no other way I could answer him other than to say, yes, I'm absolutely rich. And I think that's the thing that I get. And you know, we could talk about a lot of stuff on here, but sometimes just putting some stuff into perspective and go, you know what, be thankful for that, you know, 2-bathroom house that you've got.
Right. That
the toilet flushes every time you push the lever.
Yep.
Right. Be happy whenever you pull the knob on the shower that the water comes on and you can shower after a long hot day, you know.
That it's hot water.
It's hot water. Absolutely. And, you know, we were complaining last week about a $300 surcharge on a water bill. And what'd you do?
Just paid it.
Oh, it was electric.
It was electrical bill.
You paid it.
Yeah.
Right. And like that kind of stuff. I mean, anyway, we're blessed people. And, you know, we're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
But
it also makes you more irritated at those that whine about not having more.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's where, I mean, like, I get that, like, I think the better perspective would be to just walk away and be grateful. But like, it just really grates on me that when I hear people like, well, I don't make enough. And like,
right.
It's not a living wage. And I'm like, you don't know what a living wage is.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, like a living wage is what you live on. Mm-hmm. Right. Like I think that's something to put into perspective too, is like so many people live way past their means where we are.
Yeah.
You know, their credit cards are maxed out. They've got loans out for, you know, 3 vehicles and a massive mortgage on a home. And like, if they lost their job today, like they're screwed.
Yep.
Right. And so they wind up doing what they have to live the way that they want to.
Yep.
Rather than living the way they want to so they can do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. There's a lot to be learned. I don't have all the answers. All I know is that I think that that whenever we're sitting here talking about home renovations, when we're talking about, you know, hiring contractors and, you know, owning your home better and all the things that go into that, you know, I guess just remember that, you know, there are places where if you've got an extra $500, like, let me know. Send me an email at info@homeownershow.com. If you got an extra $500, you want to help build a latrine down in Honduras for someone who some politician's going to promise them a toilet and they're never going to get one, I can put that money to good use. And
I mean, rather
than
than it going to like a faceless nonprofit, like you know the people who have boots on the ground that are actually going to get some stuff done.
That's exactly right.
So
yeah. So
yeah. And I do have some answers for those whiners.
Yeah. 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 I think I do too.
School will be in session.
Yes.
It won't be long.
It won't be long. So anyway, I don't have anything else, man. I feel like it's a little bit of a somber ending here to this. It's kind of a somber episode in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. No, I think, I mean, you know, if you have a house, you are a blessed person.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, blessed beyond what most people in this world live and experience every single day. Mm-hmm. So don't take it for granted. Enjoy it for what it is. And, you know, so many of us waste our time looking at our home, not as our home, but in comparison to what somebody else has.
Yes,
that's
so
better.
Yep.
Or what we perceive as better. And, you know, like part of being a good homeowner is enjoying the home that you have.
Yeah. And taking care of it.
Yeah.
You know, like
look, I love where we live now.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated the last house
right
that we were in. I'm also super grateful for that house. I mean, like
It afforded you the opportunity to live here, didn't
absolutely it did.
You know?
And we became a family in that house.
Sure.
It was, I mean, like, like even though I didn't like the neighborhood, I didn't necessarily, the house wasn't my favorite. It wasn't built like I like, all those things. But like, it was good for me. It was good to me.
Timing was perfect for it.
Yeah. So, anyway, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show.
Yeah, and specifically, we're trying to bump some YouTube numbers right now.
You don't even have to watch us on YouTube. Just go over there and hit the subscribe button. That's really all we're asking.
That's right. And I'll link that up in the show notes so that people can get to that pretty easily.
And we're not one of those weird YouTube we're not going to like bombard you with stuff. Like we put out like an episode a week.
Yeah.
And then we put out some clips.
Just because you subscribe to it doesn't mean you have to get the bell notifications either.
That's right.
And we would love for you to do that and actually watch it. But here's the thing. We need 1,000 subscribers. And we need 1,000 subscribers just so we can name our channel.
That's it.
That's all we really want to do.
We just want to name our
channel. That's right. We just want to name it. So, like youtube.com/the Homeowners Show. That's all we want.
And like we know it's possible because thousands of you follow us on Facebook.
Sure. So all you got to do, if you're listening right now, which it's at the end of the episode, it's almost been an hour talking about third world country, least you could do.
Right.
Hop over to YouTube for just a moment. Click subscribe.
Give a click.
Give a click. That'll be phenomenal. Right. And then after you're there, you can go over to iTunes and you can leave a rating and review over there.
Yep.
If you're in the mood.
You're just you're having an ambitious evening.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, help us out.
Yeah.
So
join a carpool. That way you don't have to drive.
That's true.
And you can be on your phone.
That's true.
Giving us all the love.
And you're going to have to do that this weekend because I-45 South is going to be closed for 3 days. Completely closed.
Glad I don't live down there.
Do not try to go I-45 South Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You're going to be disappointed.
What are they doing?
So the San Jacinto Bridge is like broken.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I mean, you've driven across it, and like there's a big plate across the bridge with like big bolts through it, and it's like whenever you drive over it.
Oh, so they're fixing it.
It's because the bridge has literally started separating at this point. And
Houston has decided it would be bad if people died on a bridge.
Well, here's the thing. The big joke was Conroe's trying to separate from the Woodlands. That was the whole big like seceding from the Woodlands unsuccessfully.
Dude, you say that. Back in the day, this was like in the late 90s, there was no bridge between Spring and the Woodlands.
Oh, really?
Over that, what is that?
Yeah.
I don't know where the creek is right there.
Yeah.
But like, Gosling, like you could like literally stand at the end of Gosling and look across the creek and see the Woodlands.
Oh, that's weird.
And it was a massive fight for a long time as to who was going to pay for the bridge to connect those two.
Wow.
Yeah.
If it were me and I had the money, I would pay for it. To get people over to my side.
Well,
but,
if you're an individual, it's like, yeah, I'll build it and then I'll put a toll
exactly
right there, and you can all pay me a nickel every time you go across.
Yep.
Because can you imagine not having that now?
Oh, jeez. I mean, I'm over there regularly, and I don't live anywhere near that area.
Yeah,
but there's good places to eat.
There are good places to eat. Going over there on Friday, matter of fact. Yeah.
Where are you gonna eat?
The Refuge.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's over on Kirkendall.
Either way, it's good stuff.
Oh, heck yeah.
So we're not going to the Rangers game, Astros-Rangers game.
No,
on Friday night.
my mom bailed on my dad for their anniversary. So I'm taking him out to dinner.
Good for him.
So she's down in Florida.
Get him a old-fashioned and a glass of wine.
Yes.
That's what he wants.
We're going to have a humdinger of an evening.
That's right, man. Well, cool. Well, listen, thank you for subscribing because we know you're going to. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to today's episode and for listening to us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, all those things. And we're glad you're with us. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you want to contact us, info@homeownershow.com is the way to do that. But thanks for being here. We're here each and every Tuesday. Until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.